You're listening to the Late Night Snack Radio Show.
Yes, y'all. We are back.
Yeah, baby bubba.
What is poppin'? How y'all doing?
You here with the Late Night Snack Crew. This is our first time doing a visual piece of an episode, so we're gonna have a little fun. We thought we, give y'all more interaction face to face versus the radio. But tonight we got a great topic that we're gonna go into: nutrition. Not saying we the healthiest, but as always, it's the Late Night Snack. We're gonna give y'all a great conversation. See, and then we had a request the other day, like, y'all, how y'all the late night snack and y'all don't never talk about food.
Right.
We talk about everything, but we ain't really talked about food yet.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
We've grubbed definitely right before and during an episode. I
right.
that, but we don't touch on nutrition a lot, so we felt it was real important, especially after another that we did. The fact is, nutrition is very important. All of us are different.
Right.
Everybody has different needs, requirements,
right,
lifestyles, number of kids, responsibilities. So, all of those things go into, I guess, the type of nutrition your lifestyle allows, really.
Right, correct. So I know me personally, I eat meat, I eat fish, I eat mostly everything but pork. So, and I try to give myself a balance between bread, my dairies, and my vegetables and my meats. Like, I don't know the science and the breakdown of it all, but right. I try to balance myself with at least, those essentials.
Right.
I do love my kale and chicken. The same as I love my collard greens, and my sweet potato pie, and my sweet potatoes with the turkey, on Thanksgiving. But nutrition is crazy how it can affect your body, because even just not keeping up on your water intake, which people neglect a lot, including myself. You gotta get that. Yeah, you gotta get that water intake, because that's crucial.
For sure.
Yeah. So like, what do you what's like on your basic diet? Or you just?
Well, it changed over the years. Anybody that knew me over the last probably 7-8 years knew I used to be a lot larger. It was almost. I was actually 500 and something pounds. I can't remember exactly. It was whack.
Right.
A lot bigger. Not realizing that I was that size, but it also had to do with one, what I was eating, my level of activity, but also sleep. Sleep was the third part of things that you don't even really, take into account.
Yeah.
So because of that, I had to switch from eating whenever and however I wanted to. I started counting calories, and then I cut out carbs altogether at a point, and anything that was in processed sugars, anything that was processed or artificial. And that's how I noticed the biggest gains when I was able, and it was real hard. It took a long time for me to actually manage that.
Right.
But cutting out pretty much anything that was processed and focusing on the mains, and solid lean protein, a large heap of vegetables, kale, spinach, or anything that's green and leafy that definitely didn't want to overcook, because there's a lot of nutrients in that. And then just was consistent, and that the gym, and then sleep, because sleep played a huge role in my body actually getting the benefit of me being what I was eating. So even now I'm a lot lighter, 200 pounds lighter. Different life, feels great. Still in the gym trying to lose weight, doing things.
Man. Work.
But that's just for me, because me being able to do it had a lot to do with me hanging around with friends. And I remember a conversation that me and Ray had. This is probably 8 years ago. We started talking about a certain type of nutrition and focusing on getting down to eating one meal a day.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And there was a philosophy, somebody that he follows in this faith that he focuses on heavily. And at the time I said, 1 meal a day, right? That sounds ridiculous. What are you talking about? And then along the journey, I was able to actually maintain that for a short period of time. Me working towards it, not noticing it, but then me trying to strive to focus on eating 1 meal a day. It started with me having to have a eating window, so I didn't eat before. My eating window was between 11 to 7 p.m. and then I shortened it.
Right.
And I also noticed that there were things that you could also do, and natural fruits and juices and things you could have throughout the day that, still gave your body nutrients and things that you needed. Along with, a multivitamin, I take things like that. But focusing on eating one meal a day gave my body the rest it needed to filter itself out. Because if you think about us having food in our body all the time, that's in your body all the time. And your body's working all the time.
So we die from colon cancer.
Yeah,
The body's constantly working. It needs to have at least 5 hours to digest what it's eating before you want to put food back into your system.
Okay.
You think about how often, like, let's say in the Western world, we're eating 3 meals, 3 squares a day plus 2 snacks. You know what I mean? Maybe a shake here. Your body doesn't have opportunity to, digest, but also heal, because that's work. Like, no different than your car. Right. You have to put certain fluids in it. You drive it for a certain period of time. You check on it, but it's also at rest for a period of time. Like, your body needs to be at rest, and that's why, when you go to sleep, when you wake up, you eat breakfast because it's breaking your fast.
Right.
So fasting is good for your body.
Right.
And the longer you can fast forward and optimize how many calories or what nutrition your specific body needs for you, then you will run better for a longer period of time.
And that's why, like, whenever you get sick, you get down, you're not feeling well, and people ask you, do you want something to eat? And you're like, I can't eat right now.
Right.
Your body naturally puts you through a fast to get you back in to the right state of mind.
Speaking of fast, how long have each of you ever went without? Now I know you don't eat pork, so you don't eat pork either.
I slowed down. I used to eat it just because of, again, surrounding the people, myself with the people that I do. I eat a lot less. I think the last time I ate it was like months ago, and before that months. Like, I think I probably had pork maybe twice in the last year. So the whole idea is to cut down to no pork and just even meat intake as a whole.
So excluding pork, what food have you went the longest have you fasted for? I know me, it was beef, and it was 31 days was the longest I've been without beef.
31 days, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's
Especially
pretty good.
for a beer, because
I'm not saying that I do it all the time, but that's the record. My personal record right now.
He's a meat eater. Like, I mean, we be
barbecue. Listen, I get sick if I eat meat at least once a day. I start getting delirious, dizzy. I start getting a little aggy,
Right. I say that things like, obviously I think of things in a theology base. So the Bible talks about, he gives us our dose of our daily bread.
Right.
So now I'm thinking about, things like bread and like chickens and things that they had at this point.
Right.
So let's say you have a flock of chicken to eat from.
Yeah.
You're going to, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be eating eggs. You know what I mean?
Right.
And on a special occasion, you would take one of your chickens and then you would kill it, knowing that you would not be getting those eggs anymore.
Right.
So that's how I kind of look at it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm supposed to be eating, things that aren't meat most of the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And then, every now and then you can indulge on meat. So I would never be like a vegan.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where they just don't, consume any type of
anything from animal products whatsoever. Anything produced from animals.
So break it down. Have you ever like fasted like no meat?
No, never done that.
I went on the fast, and I mean, I guess backing up what Ray was brought up about, really from a theological or even a spiritual standpoint. Right. One of the things my pastor taught me years ago, my pastor Edward Chalu, when I was in college, he mentioned one of the reasons you fast also has to do with you controlling your urges in your body. Like, we live in a society where instant gratification is the note of the game. Ray mentioned before, you had 9 chickens. Generally, you ate eggs, or you had a cow and you drink the milk from that cow. You had certain animals or goat, but when you decided to kill that animal for meat, you realized you no longer had that other resource. Right. So in a given culture, and our ancestors particularly, we never ate meat daily because, one, it wasn't feasible to eat meat every day. That's something that the wealthy could do.
Right.
The concept of the king's land, the king's rules. you know, you can't touch that deer, that animal. That belongs to the king. That's not for you to kill or to consume. You know, so that was more of a wealthy ideal to eat meat on a daily basis. Culturally, we have it, and then even
the poor got the scraps.
Yeah.
Right. And then so as far as the fast, the longest fast I did was 3 days. My pastor dared us to fast for a number of days. First was a 1 day, and then I did a 3-day fast, and that meant all solid foods. So the concept of me having to do that, it was crazy because I never actually thought about not having to eat. Like, what do you mean I can't eat today? Like food? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? But understanding it had to do with me maintaining a level of physical control of my body, especially urges, and that didn't mean that. I mean, I still had I could drink orange juice. You know what I mean? I had my multivitamin and whatnot, but not being able to consume solid food. That first day and a half was torturous, you know, because naturally your body gets used to certain things, and we forget that our body, one, gets used to habit, but two, we become addicted to certain things, certain foods, certain things that we put in our bodies. And so the longest straight fast I did was 3 days, and that was with that's when I first started going to church. First focused on trying to actually challenge myself to do something outside of the norm.
Right.
But the longest fast of a particular group is when any specific type of food, what I get, it would be all sugars, all natural sugars, all processed foods. Because I did that one summer. Me and Dave were working out and focusing. He was getting his fast on. He was switching this and doing. You know, Dave, super soldier, talking about you need to lose weight and fast. Come on, baby, stop it.
He would do it too.
He would do it. So he helped me focus. So
definitely, guys,
it was 3 months.
Discipline.
I think 3 months. I didn't have any artificial sugar. I didn't have any processed food. I didn't like. So it was hard to not eat anything that had sugar in it.
Right.
And then I remember me and Dave went to Pizza. I got a chocolate chip. It was like a triple chocolate chip cookie, and I ate that joint. And within 7 minutes, I threw up.
Dang.
My body wasn't used to having like refined sugar or processed anything. Like because I was able to stick to that diet. One, because I had somebody in my corner helping me. That's always when you need nutrition. Like you talking to you guys and us focusing on what we should eat. But two, that let me realize how addicted my body was to sugar in itself, but two, how it reacted when I tried to reintroduce it into my life, my body.
Yeah.
Like, and that in itself like proved a lot to me as far as nutrition and health were concerned.
Shout out to the islands, the ones that got the real sugar.
Sugar cane, I know, yeah.
That sugar cane is no joke. You want to get something that tastes delicious?
Leave your teeth white. It's crazy.
Yeah, they say it's good for your teeth too.
Well, so the thing is, processed sugar. Like when you process it, when you cook it, boil it, that's a chemical process. Anytime you introduce heat to a sustained heat for a certain period of time, it changes the compound of it, the nature of it. So when you do that to sugar, it removes all of the natural benefits. But what you don't know is sugar cane in the raw has one of the illest combinations of nutrients and antioxidants and minerals, unlike any other food source on the planet. So sugar cane actually in itself is healthy for you. Right. Chewing sugar cane that naturally and absorbing those and sucking those naturally, that's healthy for the human body. I heard that. But processed sugar, your body responds the same way to processed sugar as it does, rather the neurons in your brain, they fire and they respond the same way that your body responds to cocaine.
Damn.
So it becomes an addictive.
Trying to tell me sugar's a drug?
Yes. Exactly. I mean, bro, that's pretty much that your body sometimes, like, people go through withdrawal from not having sugar. Yeah. You know, not having, you know.
Listen, man, I'm guilty of it. Anybody tell you, every time I drink coffee or tea, I'm not too much into coffee, but when I make my tea, I put at least I mean, if you're gonna talk
like a
about
4-5er?
if you're gonna talk about packets, yeah, I mean, at the Dunkins or something like that, I put at least 7 packs in.
See that, like,
And maybe about 5 spoonfuls, like healthy spoonfuls. You know what I mean? So, I try to cut back on my sugar, but I'm sorry.
But the thing is, you talk about that, but also I realize even when you make your tea and your lemonade, you put far less sugar and sweetener in that because it seems that certain drinks you can't have as sugary.
Yeah.
Like certain things I've noticed even about like how we all drink or eating things like that.
Tea is I had to train myself down from sodas to iced tea.
That's
and then my wife she was in the Crystal Light and stuff like that, so that I winged down even more. So now that's why I use the little packet
Crystal Light.
You know what I mean? Little packet crystals. Yeah, man. Listen, if you want to wind down on your sugar, that's how you do it. That's the best way to do it.
But I mean, Ray, what about you? Like as far as your daily eating habit or routine? Because like we mentioned the 1 meal a day. I obtained that. I did it for a while. I think it's the most beneficial aspect. For longevity purpose. If you can obtain it, but it's hard.
Want to live.
It's the hardest thing I ever tried to do.
Time. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness.
Make sure that your body is digesting food constantly. Give it some time to heal and to do what it's going to do.
Right.
But other than that, like I don't really, like I didn't wean off of. Other than pork.
Right.
Pork and pork was very tough.
Yeah.
Pork was tough. We had that on the last episode. What I noticed about all this is it's in the Bible. It says, well, God speaks to the people. He says, "Do you think you can get into heaven on mere belief? When I tried my son."
Wow,
it's heavy. It's heavy. Like
that's the son.
Right. So I say that to. I know not eating pork, something that, I thought was delicious, even though it was extremely bad for me.
Right.
I just had to try myself to not to do it. Try myself to eat 1 meal a day and try myself, to be better than I am, the next day.
Right.
And just in that trial itself, I see a huge difference. So I wouldn't necessarily say, I cut off a beef this many or something else this many days, but in a general on how I do my daily.
Right.
I don't eat as much meat. I don't consume anything. I don't feel like I'm trying to do it, because like it's almost like, I know in the Quran it talks about if you love the law, you don't have to necessarily work at living by the law. When you love it, you'll naturally do it.
Just do it.
Natural inclination.
Right. It's just what it is. Right. So, that's the steps between, liking the law and loving the law. And I love it. So I'm good to go.
Hey.
Here we go.
Speaking of good to go, it's about that time we get up out of here and go.
Yeah. Baby.
But once again, great conversation. With the late night here, you here with the late night snack crew. I'm getting tongue twisted. I'm nervous, y'all. The camera.
It's looking at it.
It's the first shot of this thing. You know what I mean? Getting the bugs out, getting the jitters.
That's
but
right.
You here with your boy ASAP.
Your boy Ray Bone.
It's BR.
Signing out. Peace. Thanks for tuning in. See y'all next time.